What's good? It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Getting on a little late today, but you know what? Better late than never. That's what they say. That's what it is. You know what I mean? We got to talk about this game. It was a hell of a game. I watched it over a little bit this morning because last night, your boy had to go out and, you know what I'm saying, blow off some steam and enjoy himself a little bit, spend some time with some friends and family, and didn't get a chance to do the video last night. So I wanted to kind of refresh and recap some of the thoughts and ideas that I have from the game. So I want to do that this morning with y'all. I hope y'all enjoy this live. If you do, you know the drill. Please help your boy out. The channel, I always appreciate the love and support. Smash the like button. It's a real quick little like button, right? Hit subscribe, bow, and hit the bell for notifications. Bow. Hit that last one. You know what I mean? Helps out with the channel. It's a little thing for you, but it's a big thing for me in the channel. So I appreciate all the love and support, everything that y'all do to help support the channel. Keep it going. I appreciate y'all. Let's dive into this game because there's a big question. I think I'm probably going to do a little short video on it just to dive in a little bit more specifically. But it's to say, have we already found our solution at power forward? Has he been sitting there the whole time? Has our power forward of the future been here this entire time? That's Isaiah Stewart. In case you didn't know, in case you didn't catch the memo, maybe it went over your head. You was like, who is it? Who is it? Clinton? Who? No, it's Isaiah Stewart. DeViro, was good with you. It was good to see you in the chat, brother. Isaiah Stewart has been here the whole time. And you know, it's funny because man, there's some things I said years ago, and people didn't, they weren't really with it. When I first saw the Isaiah Stewart, Jaylen Duren front court combination, I said, "Ooh, Troy Weaver sees something. He sees something. He understands the way the league is trending. He understands what we need to shift into, or at least explore." Now, after that, we didn't see that double big lineup for a while. And over that time, Isaiah Stewart has shown not only can he shoot the ball, not only does he have the versatility to take you off the bounce, but now he's even showing this level of switchability that I don't know if I've seen before from him. I've seen the effort. I've seen the, of course, the weak side shot blocking, the on-ball shot blocking, the ability to play physical. But the way he moved his feet in this game, the way he guarded the perimeter, I was shocked. Not to say that I was shocked like he couldn't do it, but it's to say that I was shocked at how damn good he looked guarding the perimeter. Isaiah Stewart, I felt like should have played probably 38 minutes if we needed him to. He only played 31, but I felt like he was someone I would have loved to have seen play 38 minutes and just all over the place. Moving your feet, sliding your feet, switching, sliding your feet, staying erect, hands up. You know what I mean? Like keeping that verticality, not bailing them out with a little foul. Like Isaiah Stewart switched onto Svi Mikhailiuk coming off of screens, looking for his three-point shot. So he's guarding a movement shooter. Then he guards the drive. Then he guards the switch onto Keontae George. Then he's able to guard Lauri Markkanen. And Keontae George is quick as fuck. Like, let's be straight up about that. He is a quick 6'5", athletic, shifty point guard. Hasn't yet grown into his body, get that physicality, and is still developing his bag and how to get to his shot. So there were some advantages that Stu was going to have. But it's to say the fact that he was able to stay in front of these guys. He's guarding literally almost 1 through 5. If we have another player who can guard 1 through 5, the other player being Ausar Thompson, if we now have, and then you can also throw in Cade Cunningham and potentially Ron Holland. If we got 4 guys on the perimeter who are 6'7", 6'9", 6'9", right, 6'8", who can guard 1 through 5. Yo, nights like these are going to be less and less uncommon. Remember, like last season when we went on that run, it was really with the emergence of Ausar Thompson as his defensive phenom. And I'm going to get to him because he made some spectacular plays. When he became this central linchpin of our defense last season after the new year, unfortunately, after Ivy got hurt, our team shifted. It became a defensively focused team that was able to stop teams and allow us to create offense through those defensive stops, transition, fast breaks, and it got us into our offense. It got us into some easy looks. Offensive efficiency improved. Our defensive efficiency shot up, went through the roof, and all of a sudden we go on this tear. But now all of a sudden you have this year with a lot of expectations, and teams are kind of preparing and gearing up for the Pistons. And I've been saying for a while now that the only thing that could beat us is going to be ourselves. If we don't do the little things like boxing out, which we struggled a little bit in this game with, but we are shoring those things up more and more. But if we don't beat ourselves by not doing the little things, by getting into foul trouble, not being locked in, then it's going to be extremely hard to beat us because we have more talent than just about any other team out there. Just about any other team, we have more talent, especially at the top end when we consider Cade and all NBA talent. And then we go down there through the pecking order. You know, Isaiah Stewart's defense also ensured that we got off to a good start. Like, let's also be clear though, Duncan Robinson's lack of defense also set us behind the eight ball. He got McCulloch off. He got that dude off. He lost him on a backdoor cut, allowed him to drive, straight line drive to the basket, got a bunch of open threes. Duncan Robinson, whew, man, boy, look, I don't want to talk trash about you, because you on the squad, and you know what I mean. I appreciate the threes, and you seem like you playing, and you're giving your best. You're giving your best. I ain't gonna hold you. You're doing what you can. You're doing what you can, but you're limited, my boy. You're limited. You're limited. Your defensive presence is limiting. Is more to be desired. There's a whole lot left on the bone. There's maybe there isn't much left on the bone. Maybe you gave us all you had, but it's damn it. Man, boy, cone. Man, they should give out a cone of the game. I know it's a little shameful, but man, don't get the defensive cone at the end of the game. They should have that as an in-house. No cameras allowed, right? Be like, hey, you got beat 3-4 times. Your man got off. You sent him to the free throw line a whole bunch of times. We're going to have to give you the defensive cone of the night. And you just give him a cone. Because if you're going to be a cone on defense, we got to say something to you. We got to say something to you. Karis LeVert, you right there. I mean, these OG veterans. Look, hey, our OG veterans last season were cones on defense. Let's be clear. So we figured out how to win with cones, right? Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley, they weren't stopping the fly, right? They wasn't stopping nothing. It was a full freight line to the rim, and they got there and did what they do. You know what I mean? And it was rough. But we had Ausar in the second half of the season covering a lot. And that was great. That was great. But at the same time, Duncan Robinson, as much as Isaiah Stewart, Ausar Thompson, Cade, Duren were doing their thing on the defensive end, and I'm gonna get to Duren as well. Damn it, Duncan Robinson, you was on struggle bus. You was on struggle bus. But let me get to some of these highlights because there's far too much to highlight, and then I want to give a grade for this game. It may not be as high as people want it to be or think, but we can have that conversation later. The next person I want to talk about is Jaylen Duren. Jaylen Duren, 22 points, 22 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block. Only 2 fouls. You were plus 18 on the night. Plus 18 on the night. I commend you, my boy. I commend you. This was another really good game. Really good game. You are beginning to shape the narrative about who you are as a player, as an NBA player, your future potential in this league. What you did tonight, and especially in that first half, you looked like you were turning it on. Like you were recognizing that Cade Cunningham was struggling and you decided to impose yourself. You decidedly decided to become a leader on the offensive end and put massive pressure on the defense. The reason why I wanted to highlight that, and I want to be explicit about that, is because we've been asking this question: who's going to be the Robin for Cade Cunningham's Batman until Jaden Ivey gets back and he can eventually become our Iron Man next to Captain America? Someone was going to have to step up offensively. Someone was going to have to step up and say, I'm going to be a double-digit shot attempt creator. I'm going to put some offensive burden on myself. And the defense is going to have to worry about me too. So even if Cade doesn't have it going, we're good. We're good. And in this game, Jaylen Duren took 15 shots, making 10 of 15. Now, here's the thing. I've often said last season that Jaylen Duren was too passive. He would end games shooting 3 or 4. Constantly. And I would say, what hooper, if you're shooting 3 or 4, is not going to make sure they shoot the ball 3 or 4 more times? If I shoot one shot and it goes in, guaranteed I'm shooting another. Even if I miss, I'm probably going to shoot one more at least for good measure. And if I miss the third one, shooting 1 of 3, I'll take my time, wait for an easy basket, right? Defer a little bit. Got to be team conscious. But if I'm shooting 3 or 4 from the field, I guarantee you I don't end the game shooting 3 or 4 from the field. It's at least 3 of 7. It's at least I'm shooting about 6, 7 more times. 6, 7, no. More times. Easily. Ain't no way. And so it's something that I've been encouraging and hoping to see, that Jaylen Duren recognizes his advantages on the offensive end and begins to decide to impose his will for the benefit of this team's overall offensive flow. When Jaylen Duren is aggressive in this nature, when he is showing that he is going to put pressure on an opposing team's front line day in and day out, it reshapes the game. Cade had an atrocious first half. And I want to say offensively, he didn't seem locked in, missed his first layup. It was a tough shot against Lauri Markkanen, but definitely not outside of the realm of what he can do and what he can make. But didn't seem to get to his spots. Didn't seem to even look to get to his spots. Seemed to be content with attempting extremely difficult shots, trying to split double teams and spin back between multiple defenders and getting the ball up. He was forcing a lot of shots, not shots that he can't make, but he was not positioning himself to be able to create easy looks for himself. And so he was extremely ineffective in the first half. His plus minus for the game was only 8, despite ending with 31 points, 10 assists. And you might say that's a hell of a game. Only 3 turnovers on the night. Great numbers. 10 to 3 turnover ratio. That's great. He shot 3 of 9 from the 3-point line. He missed some good looks. He missed some bad looks. Ended up shooting 28 shots on the night. If I'm honest with you, I felt a little bit like he was pushing in that second half to imprint himself on the game. And I'm not mad because he can do that. He is that good. He literally is that good. I'm not going to hold you at all when it comes to that. I'm talking about the second half, Ray. I'm talking about the second half. He began to almost, I want to say, I would love to see a team shot chart for the second half and how many shots Cade took versus how many shots his teammates were getting. And it was one of those situations where it's like you're pressing. And I don't know if it was necessary. When I look at what Duren was able to do in the first half, he had 18 points in the first half, ended up with only 22. I would have liked to have seen, and this is going to speak to the grade that I'm giving this team for this win, the overall grade. I would have liked to have seen more flow. When I see Cade at his best scoring, he scores in the flow. But within the flow, he gets to his spots. And if you notice in the second half, he goes on a little bit of a tear. I think he scores gets 3 or 4 baskets in a row. And the shots that he gets were exactly the shots I've been talking about him needing to shoot. Getting downhill, straight line drive, shoulder bump, step back, pull up. That little 8 to 10, 12-foot range. And he did it on the baseline. He did it on the mid-range. He did it inside the key, right at the free throw line, right inside the free throw line. He kept getting to his spots. And I was like, why don't we see this shot more often? I said in the preview, I said, I want to see Cade take that shot, at least twice a quarter. At least twice a quarter. You drive right into your defender, let him ride you and give him a little shoulder, and then pump fake, get him in the air, free throw line. Give him a little shoulder, turn around, backspin, fade away, 12 feet. Right? Drive right into that defender, give him a little shoulder, push shot right over the top. Those are the shots I want to be seeing from Cade because they're efficient. They are efficient. Cade shot 13 of 28 shots tonight. I don't think there's a single team out there that wants their main scorer needing 28 shots to get to 30 points. That's not efficient. But I don't want to harp on that. I don't want to harp on that. Because he still did what he did. 30 points and we got the W, 10 assists, only 3 turnovers. Played. Cade had an overall good game. I would give him a B minus. B minus, barely. By his standards. By his standards. Not by our standards. By his standards. I would give him a B minus. The next person I want to take a look at, Ausar Thompson. Ausar Thompson had the highest plus minus on this team, plus 22. And to be honest, I was kind of shocked he only had 1 block and 1 steal because I feel like he made so many plays on the defensive end, constantly, across the board. Play after play after play after play. He was all over the place. He was consistently disrupting the ball, whether it was Walter Clayton Jr. at the top of the key, barely past half court, completely just rattling him, having him throw the ball out of bounds, dribble off his foot, stuff like that. He rips Keontae George in the first quarter. You know how hard it is to rip a point guard at the beginning of the game when they have energy, when they should be locked in the backcourt, one-on-one? He just took the ball out of his hands, knocked it out, deflected it, scooped it up, out-hustled him for it, dunk. Talk about taking candy from a baby. Like literally, and with that type of talent, you have to understand that's why he sometimes can be overzealous. Because he knows he can do that. At any time, he knows he can do that. And I think when you're a talent that knows that you can get it's hard to pull back and rein it in. It's hard. But he has. And I want to commend him for that. I would give him an A on this game if it wasn't for the turn down 3-point shots. He turned down at least 2 to 3 wide open threes. Yeah. NFZ. Yep. In the chat. Great point. To think Taylor Hendricks was mocked to come to the Pistons. To think. To think. To think. But at the end of the day, Ausar Thompson's aggressiveness, especially in the second half, getting downhill, getting to the rim, getting into the shots that he knows he can make, whether it was the little left hand push shot, whether it was the left hand lay, that little jelly lay off the glass, whether it was following up Cade's miss shot and tip dunking, whether it was the little pull up jump shot off the glass, whether it was consistently getting to the rim downhill, posting up Keontae George or Svi McCullough, getting them in the air, getting that foul, getting to the free throw line. Ausar Thompson's assertiveness shot 4 of 6 from the free throw line. The fact that he persistently put that type of pressure on the defense, on the offensive end, was so impactful for us. It was so like, this is the Ausar Thompson I want to see. This is the Ausar Thompson I want to see. The Ausar Thompson that can pick and choose his spots on defense. He's pacing himself. He is okay with just being a good defender who doesn't give up anything on defense. He doesn't need to always make the play. He doesn't always need to make a spectacular play like ripping Keontae George in the backcourt and getting a dunk. He doesn't always need to do that because that takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to do that. If he's able to be someone who can contain on the perimeter, kind of stymie the offense, right? Because Keontae George and Walter Clayton really had to initiate offense almost at half court when Ausar Thompson was guarding them. They had to pass to Kyle Filipowski, Lauri Markkanen, and Yusuf Nurkic from the circle because Ausar Thompson wasn't letting them go any further. That's still great defense, even if it's not the spectacular play. His length at the point of attack was able to completely disrupt that Utah defense. And if it wasn't for Duncan Robinson, let's say if we had started Ron Holland, don't let Duncan Robinson get hurt at all. And we have to start Ron Holland because he's been our best player off the bench next to Isaiah Stewart, who's already in the starting lineup for Tobias Harris. Don't let Duncan Robinson have a little sore or something. And we got to insert Ron Holland to the starting lineup. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. Let me be 100% with you. Let me be clear on this. Isaiah Stewart and Ron Holland may never come out of the starting lineup. If Ron Holland at any point in time is forced to be in this starting lineup before Jaden Ivey gets back, Isaiah Stewart and Ron Holland may never leave the starting lineup. I'm being so honest with you. I'm being so honest with you. Ray Floyd, do you think Ivy will be back before January? I said around the new year. I would. That's where I would project. Remember, it's 4 weeks before reevaluation. Likely another 3 to 4 weeks at least to rev up. You don't want to rush him. A knee after a lower leg injury. You don't want to rush any of that. You don't want to rush any of that. And because you're still trying to build chemistry, you also don't want to disrupt it. If he's not 100% ready to go, that means, when I say 100% ready to go, he's ready to be the point of attack on defense. That's what I mean. That's the expectation for Jaden Ivey's return. I may do a short video on that as well. That is my expectation. If Jaden Ivey is not ready to be a point of attack defender for his 20-plus minutes to start the season before he ramps up, he should not be back on the court. That means energetically, the lateral mobility, the confidence in the knee, in the lower leg, right? How you feel in your body. If he's not there, he shouldn't be back on the court yet. But if Ron Holland ends up in that starting lineup with Isaiah Stewart, because if we have Ron instead of Duncan Robinson, now Ron Holland got beat on the back door, and he sometimes forgets to box out and stuff like that as well. I ain't gonna act like he's perfect, But the plays he's able to make defensively that he made on Keontae George, blocking his shot, right? That block was a thing of beauty. It was physical, it was aggressive, but it was controlled. And it was exactly the type of block that is almost like a statement block. It's almost that, man, don't you ever try that shit with me. Don't you ever try. I don't know what you thought. I don't know what you thought. And people who are watching that, as Ron Holland guards them now on the perimeter, that's an imprint. He can embarrass you like that. I'm not taking that shot. Right? Like there's a certain point in time where you begin to build a reputation. And that's what these Detroit Pistons are beginning to do. That's why I said it was their defense that got these Jazz up out of there. It was their deep. Yeah, Cade had 30. All right, dope. Got it. Cool. Ausar had his 18. Love it. Love it. Stu even had 10. Right? Duren had 22. Karis LeVert had his moments, though. Sometimes it looked a little ugly. He was doing a little bit much. I'm just saying, he was doing a little bit much. I was like, bro, I know there's a heat check, but damn, you checking every 5 seconds. You're doing a little bit much. My man Ron Holland shooting 4 of 7, 1-1 from the 3. Can he get the rock a little bit? I thought they got a little bit heliocentric with Karis LeVert, even though we looked good at times, had a little stretch, buoyed our offense. Okay, he was, yeah, and we can get a little bit more ball movement. And I also thought Javonte Green settled for too many threes. So, you know what? Let me see you attack the rim a couple times. Get out in transition, my boy. You have other assets in your offensive game. I need to see a little bit more. But Ausar Thompson's defense, absolutely game-changing. His play tonight was stellar. Outside of those passed-up threes, I would say that Ausar Thompson, I would give him about an A minus, B plus. B plus, maybe like an 89% on the test. Like he was that close. If you just didn't pass up on the threes, you got to that A minus. You got to shoot that shot. Let me get to some of these other cats. Ron Holland had a strong game, had his moments, and this is exactly why I said, wait, shoot, I just forgot my point. Damn it, getting old, bro. Shit, just forgot my damn point. Ron Holland had his moments. This is why I was saying earlier that I felt like Cade was forcing it a bit much in that second half. Because Ron Holland was rolling. Ausar Thompson was rolling. Jaylen Duren was rolling. Isaiah Stewart was, he's capable. And a lot of all those other actions stopped once Cade Cunningham started pushing. It's not to say Cade wasn't getting buckets. He was. But it was becoming a bit heliocentric. And I don't think that that's out of offensive design in terms of scheme from JB Bickerstaff. It felt like it was more Cade pushing and forcing. I would have liked to have seen Cade utilize his team a bit more in that second half. Yes, he was great, but he had options. And so overall, I would give this team a B grade. A B. A solid B. 84. 83 to 84%. Not a high B. This wasn't their best game. There was a lot of meat left on the bone. And when I use that term, I'm saying that there were a lot of opportunities. That first quarter offensively was rough. We missed a lot of layups. Ray Floyd, Marcus Sasser is still out with the hip impingement, contusion. I don't know. There's something going on with his hip. He's been out. That first quarter between Cade's layup, Ausar Thompson's layup, the little travel on the baseline, missed wide open 3 from Isaiah Stewart. They had a stretch. I think they ended up only being like 1 of 5 from the field to start the game. Detroit could have put this game out early. And I mean real early. In fact, Cade Cunningham missed some open threes. Then he got real passive and kind of disappeared offensively, allowing other guys to kind of assert themselves. Duren did a great job, but it wasn't that it wasn't the type of start to a game that you would want to see from a playoff team. It was a type of start to a game that you would see from a team that's still figuring it out. And that literally is where the Detroit Pistons are at right now. They are still figuring it out. They are still figuring it out. That's just where they're at. And I can appreciate that because something I keep saying is that is why we are so excited about this team. That is literally why we are so excited about this team. The Detroit Pistons leave so much left on the table, whether it's the free throw shooting, whether it's the open threes that aren't knocked down, which I think Isaiah Stewart is going to start knocking down. If I'm honest with you, I was so pleased that Isaiah Stewart took 6 threes and shot 2 of 6 from the three-point line. I was so happy to see Isaiah Stewart shot 2 of 6 from the three-point line. When you shoot 2 of 6, especially when your first one was in the first quarter and your second one was in the fourth quarter at the end of the game, that means you sandwiched 4 misses in there and you kept shooting with confidence. That, to me, is one of the biggest reasons why I'm saying he could be our forward of the future. He could be our power forward next to Duren. He can be that because he's willing to take the shots. You see, a lot of the NBA is not always about if you make the shots. It's about the shots you're willing to take, that you can be relied upon to consistently be a threat in a certain area, in a certain way, within an offensive scheme that teams will have to game plan for you because if you get going, that could put the game out of reach. If Isaiah Stewart shoots 4 of 6 instead of 2 of 6, the game's out of reach earlier. Now all of a sudden they got to guard you way out there, opens up the entire court. Now Cade gets off, Ausar is getting down there, right? It changes the whole landscape. But the reality is Tobias Harris wasn't shooting too much better from the three-point line, but he doesn't give you nearly the defensive impact that Isaiah Stewart does, and that's no slight to Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is still phenomenal on defense for his age and for what he does. He is extreme. When I say phenomenal, he's not making the high level, high ceiling plays, block shots, steals, stuff like that. But he's so smart and he's always in the right spot, doing the right things, and he moves his feet. He doesn't hurt you. He's a constant plus. He's a consistent plus out there on the court. And yet, Isaiah Stewart, he worked so hard on his game. And I was really pleased to see Downtown Deuce, shout out to my man Downtown Deuce, put a video after the game of Cade Cunningham talking about Isaiah Stewart's IQ, his IQ on the court. Yes, I appreciate that comment, Solo Ace. Isaiah Stewart doing Draymond Green, Al Horford-like things. Facts. Yes. And it's about time we start talking about Isaiah Stewart in that way. He's doing Al Horford-like things. That is a great comparison. He is doing Al Horford-type things. He is so skilled, so intelligent across the board. And he plays with a level of aggression that shapes your culture of your team. Isaiah Stewart, you know what? I'm going to call it now. If he stays healthy, injury-free for the most part, which we all know injuries happen, knock on wood, right? They happen. He's our power forward of the future, which makes a lot of sense because he's too important to this team in the first place to not make sure that we keep him on the team. And he's too skilled and impactful for us to not have to pay him pretty much starter money. So why not just start him? Why not just start him? I want to have a conversation with oh boy, I forget his name. He was the one who's been telling me about Laurie Marketing. I almost want to pull him up. I'm gonna see if I can find because he was on my type. He was like, man, we need Laurie Marketing. We need Laurie. I said, Laurie Marketing make a lot of money, bro. He getting paid like 50 million, and I don't know if he's worth 50 million for us. And he's saying, but we need somebody next to Cade Cunningham. We need somebody. And I was like, bro, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can pull him up. Let me see. Let me see. Because I like to keep receipts. I like to keep receipts. See if I can pull my guy up who's telling me about Laurie Marketing. Laurie Marketing didn't look like a $50 million player tonight. Let me say that right now. He didn't look like a $50 million player a year tonight. It didn't look like it. That ain't what it looked like. Y'all let me know. Am I tripping? Laurie dropped 13 in the fourth quarter when the game was pretty much already taking control over. When his team needed him, they needed somebody to create something, make something happen. I saw Keontae George pushing. He was trying to make something happen. He getting shot blocked, getting knocked to the ground. He was like, man, somebody got to do something. The coach ain't playing Bryce, which I thought was a mistake. Thought that was a mistake not to play Bryce Sensabaugh. He elected to go with not Taylor Hendricks, but Eric Harkless. You know, kind of undersized, tough physical guard, but didn't give you anything on offense. And they were desperate for offense. They were desperate for offense. So I don't know if this is one of those like your lightweight kind of trying to lose still, trying to, tank for AJ DeBonta, which I would understand, especially because he's in your backyard in Utah. Looks like the number one pick next to Cam Boozer. But it's to say, I didn't understand that move, a rotation wise. All it's to say is when they needed somebody to make something happen, when Cade was beginning to take over the game and the Pistons kept pushing it over 10-point lead, I saw Keontae George putting his pedal to the metal, trying to match that energy. And I didn't see Laurie marking it. I didn't see Laurie out there pushing, trying to make plays. That's not a $50 million a year player. It's not. It's not. I think somebody in the chat said that's a $35 million a year max. I completely agree. Ray Floyd, he offers defense and spacing. Stu, Duren, and Ausar is a pretty tough group. Facts. Cade, Ivy, Ausar, Stu, Duren. That's our lineup. But like I said, though, please hear me on this. Please hear me on this. It's another reason to do a video. I might have to do a whole bunch of short videos. We might have to come back. Isaiah Stewart, our power forward of the future. Ron Holland. Don't let Ron Holland have to be inserted into the starting lineup. I said it before, and it may sound redundant, but hear the energy. Ron Holland is playing in such a way. Y'all see the little sidestep mid-range? He missed it, went in and out. He's getting into his bag. He's making plays on both ends. Showing his versatility, his energy, his drive. If Ron Holland gets into the starting lineup in the month of November, and he gets a solid month before Ivy gets back, there could be a chance Ron Holland doesn't come out of the starting lineup. He's making it tough on Ivy. He's making it tough. Right now, I love the action you're able to run with Duncan Robinson, bringing him off of screens. But right now, Ron Holland is better than him. He's not as solid. He's not as reliable and consistent in certain ways. I get it. I get it. I ain't even going. I'm not going to pretend like he is. He's in year 2. He's 20 years old. But Ron Holland is showing flashes that are hard to deny. right? It reminds me of watching a young Kobe as a rookie. Right, he would make some bonehead plays, out of position plays. Like, why'd you shoot that type of play? But then he would make those other plays, and you would go, "Oh shit, damn! You see this guy?" And you just see him coming. You see him coming a mile away. This guy is here. This guy is going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Shout out to Ace Bailey. Also had some good plays. He had some good plays. Getting on the offensive glass, um, making some shots off the bounce, off movement screens. He looked good. He looked good. The Detroit Pistons remain one of the most talented teams in the NBA. And now you're beginning to see more and more why I've continuously said I have to see what this team is. I'm not touching them. I'm not trading away none of these guys. I need to see what these guys have got because their ceiling is a championship talent team, talent wise. Remember, I keep saying not this year, but next year is their championship window. Next year is the window. That's when they step into it. Next year, they will be hanging with the big boys. Next year, they will be taking it to the Cavs, the Knicks, the Nuggets, the Thunder, the Rockets, the Lakers. These teams that look like they're positioned, the Timberwolves, right? Those are wins that we would get last year, but it was kind of like, oh, that's cute. Came out of nowhere. Ha ha ha. Took them for granted. This year they're gonna be looking like, oh, Detroit's coming. All right, y'all. Let's go through some actions real quick. We want to make sure we're sharp in these areas. By next year, it's gonna be circled when Detroit comes to town. Hey, this is a statement game. We have to prove to ourselves who we think we are against this team. They're the barometer of where we think we might be. Yeah, nobody likes to play the Pistons, but it's more than just our physicality, our talent, our IQ, our skill level, our hard work, our connectiveness, right? How they play for each other, the chemistry on this team, right? The culture of this team and organization, the identity that JB Bickerstaff has helped to instill along with Isaiah Stewart, who's the linchpin of that. This team is damn good. It's a damn good team. That's why I gave him a B grade. I gave him a B grade. And shout out, side note, smash the like button for me. I got 28 people in the chat. Love y'all having y'all here. Smash the like. It's a small thing for y'all, a big thing for me in the channel. I really appreciate all the love and support. It's great to have y'all here. This is an interactive chat. I do respond to some of your posts. If you want to send a super chat, we'll have a conversation about a topic. All that's to say is smash the like button for me. I really appreciate it. I gave them a B grade because I'm grading them against themselves, not against other teams. I don't give them an A just because they got to win. Give them an A because of how they execute based upon where I see that they're at and what they should be pursuing to perform like. Cade Cunningham doesn't get an A because he took 28 shots and was out of the flow, was forcing really difficult looks in that first half, was not really an offensive presence in the way that we were needing him to in terms of consistently scoring, putting pressure on the defense. By his standards, I'm assessing him. Ausar Thompson, you were right there, A minus B plus, because you turned down open threes. You turned down the open three. Look, if you're going to catch that ball at the 3-point line and immediately attack, take up that space, put pressure on the defense, okay, I'm not gonna ding you for that. But if you get a wide open kick out off of a play that Cade is making off the bounce, and you turn down that three, you're telling the defense you don't have to guard me out there. So I ding you for that. I still gave you an assessment based upon the spectacular defensive plays, getting downhill, scoring around the rim. That's looking better and better. You got to the free throw line, shot 4 of 6, right? You stayed aggressive. You got to the free throw line, I want to say more than anybody else on the team. Great job. I still give you a good grade overall, but it's according to your standards. Same thing with Jaylen Duren. I probably needed to see more offensive aggressiveness. I also want to give some extra credit to Ausar Thompson because he got an offensive rebound in the fourth quarter. Cade Cunningham was doing his thing, kind of shot chucking, and Ausar ball fakes to Cade Cunningham, using him as a decoy, right? Ball fakes to Cade. The defender flies out on him, and then he attacks the gap. And I think he either makes the shot, gets fouled, gets the ball up on the rim, something like that, but he makes an offensive play. I need to see more of that from Duren. Stop deferring to Cade so much. This team is talented enough to where every once in a while, if Cade is going like he was last night, getting his shots up, he's kind of, black holing it a little bit and just absorbing all the shots. Duren, call your number, bro. Call your number. Ausar Thompson, call your number. Okay, Cade, you done shot 4 times in a row. Yeah. If you ain't 4 for 4 or 3 for 4, I need to make sure that I stay engaged so that if you have to come out the game, I'm ready to step in. Hey, if you start missing a few in a row, I'm ready right here. In fact, me remaining aggressive offensively makes things easier on you. Duren, I need to see you more and more calling your number. If you have 18 in the first half, I would have expected you to get to at least 26, 28 by the end of the game. Just off of staying consistently aggressive. You only got to the free throw line for 2 free throw attempts. Only got there once. To me, that's a bit like suspects. Some of it was the referees and how they were calling the game. But some of it was also speaking to your level of aggressiveness. Because the more consistently aggressive you are, Jaylen Duren, the more these referees are having to respond to you, to your presence, to that aggressiveness. And that's where you get to the free throw line. I mean, you get to the free throw line 8 to 10 times, getting 8 to 10 attempts at the free throw line per game, you're a monster. This game, you were huge. You were huge for us, but not a monster. I'm grading you by your own set of expectations that you've created for yourself. You have monster energy. You have monster ability. That's what I'm expecting. Maybe not night in, night out, but being consistently aggressive in the second half, I wanted a little bit more. I don't even know. Maybe only had 1 or 2 shot attempts in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Right? Like, call your number, bro. Don't just rely upon the lobs from Cade Cunningham or offensive rebounds. Post up. Ask for the ball. Get the ball at the top of the key. Use Cade as a decoy. Keep it on the handoff and put that ball on the bounce. Attack your mismatch. See if you can get to the free throw line. You've got great footwork. You can spin up and under, jump hook, finish around him with the lay. Even a little, I don't know if y'all seen the little push shot from 10 feet out. Drove at Nurkic, gave a little push shot. Duren, I want to see more consistent aggressiveness. Even if it's just 3 to 4 attempts per quarter. Right? But I need it consistent. Right? That's how I'm assessing this team. Because that's how damn good this team is. When we get Ivy back, when we get Sasser back, this team is going to take off. This team has takeoff potential. This team has takeoff potential. If I'm honest with you, though, I do think that Isaiah Stewart goes back to the bench when Tobias Harris comes back. The main reason is because Paul Reed hasn't looked good as our primary backup center. If I'm honest. I want him to be our starting power forward. If we had a better backup center, I think he would be. And we would have no problem having Tobias Harris come off the bench. And there's still a chance that he might. But I wouldn't be shocked. JB is pretty loyal to his veterans. And Tobias has been nothing but, oh, you see last year's Pacers with this Pistons team. I would not be shocked. Mega Hustler in the chat. That is a great point. I can see that as well. I can see that as well. This team is going to make a run. And when they do, I'm gonna be here for it. And I know all of you are too. Look, I gotta get out of here. I've been on here a little bit long. I appreciate all the love and support. Smash the like button for me. Remember, it's a small thing for y'all, but it's a big thing for me. Just hit the like button, hit subscribe, and the bell for notifications. Hope you appreciate these live interactive chats. I do my best to do them almost daily in the morning. So I hope that you appreciated it. I appreciate y'all. I always like to leave y'all with a little something. Um, oh, Paul 556. Put that comment after I post this video, and I'll respond to it. I got you. Um, Agent Marie Brown is an author, writes pleasure activism, and I forget the other name of the book that she's more known for. Um, Emergent Strategies, I think it's called. But she has this comment, or this phrase that she coined, uh, called the orgasmic yes. And it means like this fully embodied yes. It means that something that when you're saying yes to something in your life, it's fully embodied, like a cool drink of water on a hot summer day. Every bit of your body says yes, yes, right? Um, a deep hug when you're going through something, a good meal when you get back home, a good night's sleep when you're extremely tired. These things that our full body says, yes, we need. When you begin to make your life out of that type of a yes, your life will become one that is not only worth living, but that you can wake up excited to every single day. Many times it feels like we don't always have the choice, the option to do the things that we really want to do. But the reality is, we are co creators of our reality, co creators. That means that what we believe up here is what we create with our genius, with our talents, with our skills, with our resources. If you don't believe that the things that are deeply fulfilling for you are available to you, or something that you can truly have, you won't pursue it, which means that you won't even see the opportunities when they're there. And the reality is, everything that you could want is there for you, but it's what you believe is there for you. So I don't want to make this long, but I want to say, I hope today you choose what feels deeply fulfilling for you, whether it's taking a nap during your lunch break, whether it's spending quality time with a loved one, whether it's taking a walk, whether it's getting in a good workout, whether it's getting to bed early, right? Making good choices with your food. Do the things that feel deeply gratifying and fulfilling for you, and begin to normalize that shit, because that's what life is supposed to be. I know we live in kind of this hyper capitalist state where it's all about work, performance, and production, and to a large extent, a negation of your human experience. But you have an opportunity to choose what you want to believe. If you want to believe that there's more out here for you, it's not about what others are doing, it's about what you believe. Because if you don't believe it, it don't even matter if it's sitting right there in front of you. You won't even notice it. It won't be attractive. You won't be drawn to it. You'll reject it. You'll think it's silly. You'll think it's stupid. You'll think it's weird. Believe that you deserve everything, everything that feels fulfilling for you. And I truly do believe your life will be full of that completely. But hey, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. This was a great live. Look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow morning. We got some topics we got to talk about. Uh, Big Stu, our future power forward, Ron Holland's ascension, Ivy's impending return, There's a lot of other topics, and I'm gonna be here for it. Hey, y'all have an amazing day. I'm gonna get at y'all next time. Peace.